everybody. Hello, hello. I know we have a lot of new people tonight. So, no note takers are allowed to take notes if any of you have AIs on. I don't let them into these rooms because it's people's private information. So, let me just admit everybody. Hang on a second. All right. If you haven't been on one of these calls before, welcome, welcome. Cameras on, please. I like to speak to faces, not black boxes, and you will never ever pay attention anywhere near like you will if you have your face live. So always cameras on. And if you didn't know that and you're here tonight and you're naked behind the screen, I'll let you off tonight. But next week, come prepared for cameras on. So you're actually showing up. Imagine it's like a doctor's appointment or something and you have to actually be there. So let's treat our parenting with that kind of priority. Let me just arrange something here. Let me fix my screen. All right. We have some excellent, excellent questions. All right. Let me just change the view. Here. Okay. Make sure your lines are all muted for me. I mean, I have as well, but perfect. Okay, so if you are brand new, just because we have a lot of people that have just joined our program recently in Perth last weekend, or a couple of days ago, and Adelaide the weekend before. So if you are new here, or if you're someone who's watching this replay, first thing is I want to say every single week at like 8 a.m., 8 a.m. Sydney time, there's a post that goes up in the group that looks like this. Got a question for this week's Zoom call. It still has my old bloody logo on it. Keep forgetting to change it. But anyway, the company used to be called The Holy Effect, if you didn't know that, but it's Aligned Life now. So look out for that post on a Tuesday morning. It goes up first thing in the morning. And that is where you put your questions for the Zoom call that night. If you're not on the Zoom call live, I don't answer your question. So when you do log in, make sure you change the name. If some of you are here as like iPhone, or you might have different names on your Zoom account, just make sure that you edit your name as soon as you join here, so that it basically matches your Facebook names. Because, for example, we had a situation last week, and I love that it was brought to my attention, where somebody thought I wasn't answering their questions, but they didn't realize it was because their name is on Facebook, and then every time I got on here, their name said iPhone. So I didn't know that this person was on the call. And so if I don't know you're on the call, then I can't answer your question. Now, if ever you have to ask something that is, for some reason, you want to be very anonymous, like you've got like an anonymous Facebook or something, that's no problem. Just when you join this call, send me a private message to let me know who you are. So you can use whatever name you like here. And I know some people are, come from DV backgrounds and things like that, and really need to, just aren't comfortable having their identity out there, and that's okay. I fully respect that. So in that case, you pick a name and then you private message me on this in the chat as soon as you get here to this call, and let me know, hey Holly, like it's me or whatever. And then I'm like, okay, good. Now I know you're on the call, and I can intend to get around to your questions. So we have lots to go through tonight, and no worries, Lisa. Thank you. Your camera's still not working. I'm not showing them any. Okay, beautiful, awesome, Lisa. Thank you for letting me know. All right, Helena. Now how awesome is that? There's two Helenas. Helena. Please tell me how to pronounce you properly. But this one is Helena Kenny. Are you here? No. Somebody is on here as iPhone, which is no problem, but I don't know what your name is if you're there as iPhone. So change your name. Okay, Helena's not here yet. If you are, unmute yourself, but I can't see you. Okay, so let's go to you, Megan. I did see you here, Megan Troop. Let me come to you. And I'll get you to unmute.
Hi, Holly.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Amazing. Very, very good. So I'm actually super bloody good because yeah, we get the key. We've been building and we get the keys to our house in 2 freaking days, and I'm literally so excited. So, oh, Tapio, Helena's your okay. Awesome. I'll come back to you, Tapio. Thank you for letting me know. If you just so I don't forget, if you can, I don't know if you know how to edit your name, Tapio. If you can put Tapio and Helena or something, just so that I don't forget that that's who Helena's with, or that Helena is your wife. I'll come to you next. I'll come back to you. Thank you for saying that. See, otherwise I don't know you're here. Thank you, thank you. Okay, this little very driven, very spirited child that likes to win. Yeah, I relate on lots of levels. I used to, I definitely like to win myself. So, sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just going to let someone else in the waiting room. Put this down here. So here's like when you've got a situation where a child like literally cannot cope with losing or having something not right. I mean, ultimately, what's going on is their nervous system can't hold disappointment. Okay, that's like disappointment is a very big emotion for anyone to manage. And all the nervous system needs is familiarity in order to feel safe with anything. Sadly, sometimes familiarity makes us feel safe. It lets us stay in situations that we really should leave, right? But we're so familiar with the pain that we stay there too long. So it has a downside. But look, and in the third pillar, just so you know, like I know you're just new to the program, but there's in the third pillar, there's a section on building resilience and adaptability. Okay, so it's all in there. It's not going to work as well if you just jump to that video. It is going to be by far the best that you watch the videos in order so that by the time you get to that part, other things are in place with discipline and with love language and with, effective praise and things like that. Like those things are really key for everything in the third pillar to work, which is where you start getting down to the words and the sentences and resilience and adaptability. Yeah.
Hmm?
So essentially what's happening is your son is really he's got some kind of identification where he has completely identified with with winning in terms of like, I need to win because winning like makes me a winner. It's very personalized, right? And not necessarily win the game, but whatever it is that he sees going on and somebody on the team makes a mistake, and look, every chance he's a natural born leader and he probably is going to be someone that needs to win in life, which will be great when he gets to live his own life and find his own path and he looks for where he wins. Now, at the moment, where there's situations where you can't control what other people do in the whole game, and I fully understand your situation where you guys are the, kind of, you got some volunteer roles on the team and your son's losing his shit and you're like, damn, that's not that's not my job. I get it. So first of all, I want to ask you this. Do you think, or can you tell me, are there any other areas other than sport that you believe he feels like he wins at? Because I'm feeling like, and I wanted to just
Um,
ask this first, because if he has a need, like a need to win, and that's great,
mm,
that's a great personality trait, as long as we can tame it, gently. If he has a need to win, and he doesn't have too many other areas where he feels like he can win, or he is a winner, or he gets noticed enough or something like that, then he uses sport as the way that he meets that need completely for himself, which is why it's like, if you don't understand, if I don't win this game, if we don't do good here or whatever, a lot's on the line for him, because it might
yeah.
be that his only chance to get a sense of winning is in that game, and if he can't get that need met, like he loses a lot in his experience.
Yeah, because then it starts happening. He'll start spiraling, and at the end of it, it will be like, well, I'm just a shit player then.
Right.
And it will come back onto him. That will be the final thing he'll say.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So um I know you guys are new. Have you got to the effective praise section yet? It's in the first pillar.
No, we're going to start the first pillar tomorrow.
Okay, amazing. This is going to change everything. So, two things I'll say that I really want you to look out for. Like, I
Mm.
really want to be looking at his love language. It might take you a couple. How old is he? Sorry.
10.
Okay, yeah. So look, if he's got some adaptive love languages already in place,
Mm.
it might take even a couple of months sometimes to really work out the love language. But that doesn't mean you don't make a lot of progress in the meantime. And there's days where you're picking up on some really big clues and, and things are improving until we completely nail it, right? But adaptive behaviors, especially after 8, are just it's hard to see deeper than them sometimes. So just
Yeah.
I'm saying that so you don't beat yourself up if you haven't worked out his love language in a week. Okay. Like
Yeah.
let's just say if we work out his love language in 3 months, that's a big win. And in the meantime, we'll have a fair idea within 2 weeks max. You'll have a fair idea. Love language is not it's not one thing. You're going to be looking at 3 things. You're going to be really paying attention to 3 things. Which the program will explain. So what
Mm-hmm.
he does, how he responds to love, his I'm sorry language, which is what he does when he's trying to apologize and make up with anyone, siblings, you guys, whatever. That's a really big clue. And what makes him feel the most unloved. So you're going to be paying real close attention when it comes
Mm.
to discipline and things like that, like what absolutely crushes him, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna really highlight a few things. So we're gonna get clues from here, clues from here, clues from here, and we
Yep.
put all that together. And that's how, you heard me say from the stage, like, 90% of people have their kids' love language wrong because they only
Mm.
look at, oh yeah, they love when they get cuddles from me. Oh yeah, they jump on my lap all the time. They don't quantify it, they don't like kind of cross-reference it with the other few things. Okay. So in that first pillar, one of the most important things to you is going to be this video on how to give effective praise. Okay, it's a short video. Watch the love languages first, and that'll come up next. And that is going to be crucial for you because if you can learn how to give him effective praise on a daily basis, if he's a leader, you can't blow wind up his ass. Like you can't go, oh, wow, that's great. And he'll be like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I haven't even tried.
Yeah.
He's not going to buy that. It's not going to feel like love. It's going to feel fake and like very disingenuous, and
Mm.
he'll hate that even more, right?
Mm.
So it has to be real, and you'll need to learn how to use descriptive praise and appreciative praise. Like 8 out of 10 times, you get an opportunity to talk to him or to notice him. This is going to change him massively because if he can start feeling like he's being noticed and being seen. Let me ask you this: is he pretty good at sport? Is he pretty good at what he does?
Yeah, yeah, he's very academic. He's been learning the guitar, so he loves that, and he'll go off and practice by himself. He's very like a self-starter with everything he learns. Uses
Motivated.
his own initiative. Yeah.
Oh, I love a kid that's intrinsically motivated. Let's not kill that in him by giving him external things to motivate him. Like you're doing great, obviously, that's really amazing. So, but here's the thing, if he is good at sport and sport has, maybe you guys haven't even noticed, like there's a good chance you're probably missing his love language.
Yeah.
And so sport, I'm just going to go on a limb here. I don't know anything about him and I can't give you anything exact until you come back with some clues and we work it
Yeah.
out. But I reckon there's a pretty good chance that one of his love languages, because we only have 2, okay, there's one really high dominant one, a second one close behind, and the other 3 are like irrelevant, okay? And there's a good chance one of them's going to be words of affirmation, I reckon. And the
Mm.
reason I say that is because if sport is where if he's pretty good and that's where he feels the most seen, the most recognized by you guys, it's where he gets the most validation, the most like, words of affirmation, like, yeah, go, yeah. And like you're cheering for him and you're in
Yeah.
when he plays good, every single one of his needs get met. He's like, he feels good and he hears it from people and all of that. Then this is why you're having the issues because he's like, you don't understand. Like I've got love on the line in any sport that I play because the way that I get loved is by doing good at my sport, or by being, winning or being the good player or whatever, which is also why he'll naturally point out the player that did something wrong because what he's proving subconsciously in that moment is that he knew what to do. No, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't have passed it to him. You should have passed it over there. You shouldn't go for
Yeah.
that goal. You should do this. Like, and so Yeah, so there's so two things. Just go through the program, okay? And just pay really close attention to effective praise and practice that like 10 times a day. Find something that you can use the effective praise words on, okay? And appreciative praise. So like descriptive praise and appreciative praise. It's all in the effective praise video.
Yep.
And then I want you as a family, how many kids do you have?
3.
Great. Okay. I would love for you as a family to practice disappointment. All of you as a family, everyone's nervous system's practicing together. So you can even, make a little family meeting at dinner time or something. Go, hey guys, you guys know I have a coach or whatever. Maybe they know or whatever. If not, tell them. You guys
Yep.
don't know yet, but we have a parenting coach, and she told me that what we all need to practice in our family is that we should all practice getting really good at how to manage being disappointed. And then you guys have to, now, I'm not the best at being disappointed. When I'm disappointed, I feel really angry, and sometimes I think about it too much in my brain and I can't let it go. And I just want to sometimes, I want to get back at people or things like, so share your own weaknesses around disappointment. And so as
Yep.
a family, we're going to practice disappointment. All of us are going to practice disappointment. So, anytime there's a challenge in our day, anytime something doesn't go our way, like even every day, you can make this a daily conversation, like at dinner time or something, right? We do what's the favorite part of your day and what's the challenging part of your day. And so, I really want you to talk about challenges and disappointments, and not just what happened, but okay, and how did you handle that? What did you do when you felt that? Right now, how you practice. So if this escalates, this is what I used to do with my kids. Let's say when my kids used to get to, and it was more about comparing, but this is going to work for your son anyway, when they would start squabbling over bullshit, oh, she got more than me, or how come that's not hers, and like this stuff. I'm like, right, that's it. This week, for the rest of the week, we're doing not comparing, or it's disappointment, same thing, right? So I would say, here's what's happening, girls. You get to choose what you see in life, okay? And be careful what you choose to see, because what you tell your brain to see, like anything you want to see, your brain will go and find. And so I would say you get to choose to see what you do get or what you don't get in any situation. Right. And you can say you get to choose to see, oh, nothing other than we lost, or nothing other than that person met, or we played a good game. I love playing my sport. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. You get to choose the filters and the way you see things. So to help your brains practice, I used to say to my girls, not comparing. I'm on purpose. I'm just giving you all a heads up. For this whole week, on purpose, I'm going to be very unfair on purpose. Like one night at dinner, this person gets lemonade and the other two get nothing. The next day, these two get olives. My kids fucking love olives and feta cheese. They'll get olives. This one kid doesn't. Two of them do and one doesn't. And this kid gets, this much, and this kid gets this much, and whatever, right? And then when they'll be like, oh, then I'll be, are you comparing? So your situation, and it was amazing. All it does is bring it to the forefront of their mind, and they can manage it. They really can. They just need to learn how to meet it. So I'd love you to do that with him, with disappointment, with your whole family. Make it so it's not about him, it's all of us together. Okay. And if you can talk about it as like a daily thing, every day there should be challenges in a day, or little moments where sometimes there's a big disappointment. Sometimes there's something was just a bit annoying. Like, oh, it was so annoying. This person did this. And we're going to talk about every day. We're going to look for something in our day that didn't go perfectly, that didn't quite work out how we planned it. And, we talk about like what happened and how, how we process that. And so this is so that all of us can practice, like, not just what happens to us, but how do we sit with it? How do we react? What do we make that mean? Because what exacerbates disappointment, there's what happens and there's what we make it mean. And the meaning we give something is what determines how much disappointment we feel. It's never what happens, it's the meaning we give it. We lost, and that means I'm a shit player.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what's causing it. Not the fact we lost. It's the way you choose to see it. So you can't just hand this down to your kids. You have to be involved. The way that they're going to learn this in a felt sense, energetic way is by literally following and feeling your example. You and your husband are going to need to come to the table with some genuine disappointments. And it might be like, guys, I want to share one of the biggest disappointments I've had in my life. Instead of talking about what happened to me today, let me tell you about something that happened to me like 10 years ago when I was going for this job and I didn't get what, like, give them something, because as you speak it, they'll feel in you. This is real. Like, I can feel you, how disappointed you were and how much that hurt your feelings. And, now I look back and I realize, I told myself that wasn't fair and this and this, and, that I was better than that other person. And it made me feel like, maybe I'm not good enough if I don't win that. And so I want you to be examples of what it looks like to have something shit go down in your life, and and own it. Go, and I've never really handled my disappointment the best, and this is something that I've decided I want to work on. Dad's decided he wants to work on it. We're all going to work on it as a family together. Let's become the family that when things don't happen the way that we thought they would or that we wanted them to, okay, we're never going to be able to change that. Okay, that's called life. Okay, welcome to life. Shit is disappointing sometimes. But what we get to handle is, what do we do about that? Like, what do we say to ourselves? What do we make it mean when that happens? Can we say to ourselves, well, it doesn't really mean anything. It just means that was a bit of a shit day. Or, doesn't really mean, it just means that my friends didn't want to play with me today. It doesn't mean that nobody likes me. It just means that they all wanted to play chasey and I didn't want to play chasey today. I wanted to go to the sandpit. And it doesn't mean my friends don't like me. It just means they wanted to play chasey. I don't have to make it mean that no, I don't have friends anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
They don't
definitely.
like me. It just means they didn't want to play with me today. Okay, guess what? There's going to be lots of times in life, not just now while you're at school. There's going to be lots of times in life where you're a bit alone and where nobody wants to play with you, just so you know. And just so you know, it doesn't just happen at school. When you're an adult, sometimes you get a job and you go to a place and it takes a long time to make friends there too, just so you know. So this is not something that just like, I want you to feel it. It's okay. Like, this happens all the time in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of trying to stop them from feeling it. Because what will eventually be able to help him see, like when he shares these, as long as you guys are all sharing too, it'll feel safe, it'll feel comfortable for him to share, is, it'll just be a little filter in his mind when he's in a moment where, like, he wants to yell at something. He's like, oh, I was so disappointed today when we didn't get that goal. He should have passed it. Then I realized that I was, it's just going to be a safe way to bring awareness to him, because the only way,
Mm.
without crushing him, the only way you change something like this is by bringing self-awareness to it. He's going to have to catch himself in those moments and realize, well, I'm this guy missed the goal, and now I'm telling myself we're going to lose because of the goal. We're not going to lose. We've still got 3/4 of the game to go. That's a story. That's not necessary. Maybe it's true, but maybe it's not. And you've got to be able to catch your brain telling you these stories.
Yeah.
Kids can do this. 4-year-olds can do this if they get raised with this language and raised with these things, like with these principles. So a 10-year-old, I'm telling you, give him 2 weeks, and if this becomes a regular conversation and it's normal and it's okay to be disappointed, but it's about what we make that mean. Because then what you'll be able to do, let's say he gets in the car next weekend, he cracks the shits and he's pissed off and whatever. When the time's right and you let him kind of sit with it, you can tell him, I see you're really upset about that, and I can see your disappointment.
Mm.
Maybe just check in with yourself and just see, what are you making it mean? And then you shut up and don't say anything. He doesn't have to you don't have to tell me your answer. I'm not telling you to tell me. I'm just saying, maybe just check in with yourself and maybe just notice what your brain is telling you inside your head. Because I know it sucks to lose. But what I'm curious is, maybe you're making it mean something that's not true. I can see you're taking this very personally, like somehow it was your fault. And if that is what your brain's telling you, that's a story. That's not true.
Yeah.
So we just want to make it safe for him to eventually come there. But this is probably a 4-week process, because you can't
Yeah.
down his throat. He has to want to arrive there. And if you give him any reason to resist this idea of practicing disappointment and talking about what we make it mean, if you give him any reason to resist that by saying, well, what are you making it mean? You're just making it mean something. Like, and you got like, if you make this unsafe for him, he just won't go there. And this is a voluntary thing. You can't make someone go there. They have to voluntarily, consciously be willing to go, yeah, what am I making that mean? Why do I feel so disappointed? Not just a little disappointed, so disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, he's getting his needs met. He needs to feel like he's a winner somewhere in life that's not on the field. Because at the moment, the field is the only place he gets that need met, I reckon. I reckon
Yeah. That's so interesting. Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you. Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
out.
everything you've said just seems to make sense. Hey?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
I'm so glad. I'm so
Yeah.
glad. Yeah. And then when you go watch the love languages, like if we start filling up his love languages, and I reckon there's a good chance his words of affirmation.
Yeah.
No, it's just, I just kind of know these things and a little bit sometimes. So don't take my word for it, because I very much could be wrong. And I'll be the first to say, forget that idea if you come back with some other feedback and I think something else. Okay. But I just think words are probably very, very meaningful to him. And if he's not getting enough words of affirmation, which is hard if you guys aren't words people. I'm a words person, and my poor fucking partner, he's like, fuck, I hate it when it's your birthday. I can't write the letters. Now he loves ChatGPT. He gets chat to write letters for me, puts in the instructions. He puts in all the things and he gets me a nice letter. And, yeah. So it is hard when you're not the words person. But I'm like, dude, it's hard for your acts of service. And I'm like, fuck, can't you just make your own lunch? Do I really have to just do an act for, you know what I mean? It's just like, come on, you don't need me to do something for you. Just do it yourself. So it's always hard for anyone who doesn't have that same love language. And if it's not natural to you to really know how to use, like, not just, oh, wow, that's great. Oh, you're so awesome. Oh, wow, you're doing good at school and you're doing good at sport. And like, if you don't know how to really, like, it's not just words, it's words of affirmation. And what that means is that what you say has to affirm what I already knew about myself, basically. Right?
Yeah.
I already know kind of what I did good and what I am good at, like, and so you can't blow wind up my ass. It'll be the worst. Like, but if you tell me something that I did make an effort at and I really tried, and I I know I did good at that or whatever, or I'm putting in a lot of effort, and then you come and say, don't tell me I did a good job if I got a C, let's say, for a high achiever, right? Don't say, oh, you did great. But you say, mate, I saw the effort you put into that. And then you just, descriptive praise will teach you this in that praise video. You studied every night, you did this. I remember you went and asked your teacher for, to ask some questions before the test. You ticked every box you could have ticked and put in all the effort you could have ever put in, mate. You don't have to finish it with, oh, you did a good job. Because in my head, I'm like, no, I didn't. I got a C and I'm an A student, let's say. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't add the, oh, it's okay. A C still really good. Like, that does not affirm what I believe. I don't believe a C is good. The only thing that you're going to be able to meet me at in this moment, if I'm words of affirmation, is saying, I saw your effort. Because I'm like, yeah, now I feel seen. I did put in effort.
Yeah.
You're right. You're affirming what I know about myself. I did freaking try. I did ask the teacher for some feedback before the test. I did do those things. So when you affirm what I already know, that's when my bucket gets full.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. That makes so much sense. Yeah, we really appreciate that, Holly. That's awesome.
Thank
No
you.
worries, guys. Awesome. See you again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, before I forget, I was going to say this at the beginning of the night. I will put a post up in the group. Let me just, next week, there will be no call. Okay. There's 45 calls a year in this program, and we move house. We've been building and we get the keys to our house this Thursday, 2 days time. And our internet, our NBN, like when I moved into this house, it was a brand new house, the place we're renting just while we're building, and it I'm not doing it to people again. It was a nightmare. I tried to get on. It fucking dropped in and dropped out. Everyone wasted their time. So this time, I am moving finally. And so next week there won't be a call because I'm just not prepared to risk the fact that our internet isn't connected yet. It's getting connected Tuesday morning, supposedly, but I'm not willing to risk it for Tuesday night because we only get the keys and moving on Friday and blah, blah, blah. So please just know next week there'll be no call. I will remind you in the group, okay? And you can still use the Facebook group in the meantime, but if for those of you who are new especially, that means you're going to have 2 weeks till the next call. So what I would love for you to do is watch the videos in the program. Imagine that next Tuesday night's call is on and the 90 minutes you would have sat here, make an appointment with yourself to sit down and watch videos in the program for 60 to 90 minutes with your partner still. Okay, like mentally bring yourself into your parenting space instead of it being on a call with me. Watch the videos, and that way you'll have like even better questions to be able, but not better questions to ask me, but anytime I give you answers, I'll be able to refer back to some videos you've watched, and it will all make sense and drop in a little bit deeper. Okay, so just before I forget to say that again. Okay, so Helena, let's do sorry, I'm trying to find you, Helena, and let me just come here. All right, Tapio. I hope I'm saying your name right.
Yes.
Yes.
How are you guys?
Hey.
Hello.
Very good. Do I say Helena or Helena?
It's Helena.
Helena. Okay, beautiful. There were two of you. Like, we've never had a Helena in the group, and now today there's two of you commenting to me. I saw that.
What are the odds?
There you go.
I know. Are you guys able to put your camera on or you can't?
Our internet connection is very bad. We
Okay,
live
yeah.
rural. Sorry.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Okay, you said about, how do I find my calm and not lose my shit or something? Let me just see. I can't remember. How do I find my calm and stop being so angry and triggered by my children? And then there were a couple of people that wrote and said, oh my God, I'd love to know this too. I'd love to know this too. And Ashley, actually, the guy who stood on stage in Adelaide, and shared his story. And for those of you that were in Perth, we played his video up on the screen. He commented saying that is what changed everything for him at the Happy Whole retreat. So anyway, this is the thing. When it comes to, so let me ask you, can we have a really real conversation? Are you okay with like some real talk?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to hurt your feelings or make you hate me.
No.
No. So let me tell me a little bit about what happens when you are feeling really angry. Like, and I love that you're owning it, by the way, and you are speaking on behalf of every parent on the line right now, not just some, every single one. So thank you for having the courage to ask a question like this. And I know you want to find your calm. Tell me what happens when you do lose it, like when you lose your calm, in terms of like what happens in your body. Like, what do you feel? Do you want to just scream? Do you want to yell? Do you feel like you want to hit something? Like, do you try to keep a lid on it and then it comes out? Give me a bit of an idea like that.
I think for me, usually it's shouting. So I've noticed recently I just shout so much that I'm spitting. I'm shouting. I lose my voice a little bit often as well. I feel shakes. I get heart palpitations. Even start crying even after screaming and shouting because you're like, well, mum's just lost her shit. Your whole body has like this numb sensation afterwards because you just got into the state of absolute I've just completely lost my shit and I'm a grown adult.
I hear you.
And then you feel also shame because you're like, well, I'm meant to be teaching my kids that this is not how you react.
Right.
And then we also have this problem in our house with our kids reacting the same way back at us or at me or at each other because, well, mum loses her crap, so we'll lose our crap at each other.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel you. Now, I want to ask you one more question. I'm fully clear on that. Thank you. That was a brilliant description. Give me one example and a recent example if you can, if there's something that we're like in the last few days or the last week. Can you tell me like what happened? Like, is there any pattern in like, I'm okay when I have to deal with this and this and this, but when the kids do this or this or this, like that's where I can't. Is it everything for you, or is it?
I think for me, it's mostly we have a daughter. Our oldest daughter is very difficult to handle, especially in the mornings. She won't get out of her bed. She won't get dressed. She won't even eat breakfast. She won't do anything. What do you ask her? And you've asked nicely the first times. You're trying to get up, darling, open the curtains, rubbed her back even, or whatever to wake her up and be nice and kind. And then it's no, no, no. And then she gets angry and like, I hate school. I don't want to go to school. That's an example. This happens every day in my house. And then
How old is she?
she's 9,
Okay.
soon 10.
A
And
week.
yeah, in a week's time, she turns 10. And then I've got to this point where I'm boiling. I'm in a rush. I've got 2 other kids that I've got ready and trying to get in the car. And every single day, even today, she wasn't going to school even. It was like screaming like a crazy lady, get in the car. Just get in the car. Like you're standing here at the door, like just get in the car. It's 5 steps outside the door, literally. So we just have this, yeah. So that's one example, but that example happens every single day.
So I want you to do this. Let me go deep with you a little bit. Okay. Just come with me for a minute. And this is for all of you sitting there who relate to this situation. As I do this with Helena, I want you to do this with yourself. Okay. I want you to, and even if you can, Helena, it's a lot easier, even if you close your eyes so you can kind of go into your body. I
Yep.
want you to literally go to a moment, like let's say this morning, where all this is happening. Like I want you to literally almost like invite forwards these feelings in your body so that they feel a bit alive again, like almost like they're right there in your body right now. Just take yourself to whatever you can, like whatever level you can in that. Just remember the situation and just let yourself feel it for a second. And let me ask you this. Who else in your life has ever made you feel like that?
Like stressed or
Whatever these feelings are, that whole feeling that you said before with your heart palpitating and all that. Tell me, where else in your life have you felt that? And just take your time and just let yourself open and be vulnerable.
multiple people. Yeah.
Which one of your parents?
Oh, definitely my mum, definitely. And my dad too. There was always constant my whole household was just constant shouting, my whole upbringing. They don't talk, they shout.
Yeah. Okay. And those feelings in your body would be what you had as a child. They'd start shouting, your heart would start palpitating, this whole
Yep.
it's like this feeling of the situation's getting out of control and I can't control it. There's nothing I can really do to stop it. And I just have to deal with it. Would that something like that? Is that about?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
And that's when also for me the shame factor, because I don't want that for my kids. And my oldest daughter is very much like myself in many ways. And then the shame hits you like, oh crap, now she's feeling what I grew up with.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And all of you, everyone out there, if you just did this exercise, if you just went to a place and you connected with the feelings that you get with your child, and then you ask yourself, if you really want to do some work on yourself, if you're truly asking, like, how do I find my calm, when my kids aren't listening or when I'm really angry and triggered, the answer is, first of all, you have to meet yourself. Because see, like when you were a little girl, you were abandoned in those feelings, meaning like you're feeling all this and no one's coming to save you. No one's giving a fuck about little Helena over there who's feeling like this. She just has to handle it. No one's coming to apologize later. No one's coming to make it better. You're just going to have to handle this. Like no one ever came to save you. And then in this moment, so what you've learned to do is abandon yourself in these moments. And inside you, this little girl is feeling like her world's out of control, because it is, because just like you couldn't control your parents, you now can't control your kid that won't get out of bed.
Yeah, true.
The same thing, okay?
Yeah.
And it's someone close to you, yeah? And you can't do it, you just have to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
And so coming into your body for a second and just noticing what you are feeling and knowing that this feeling is not coming from her, not from your daughter. What your daughter is doing is triggering a feeling that already existed in you.
Yeah.
It's already there. That's why you say, I like, how do I stop being so angry and triggered by my children? Like, the only true answer, if you want me to be very real with you, there is no tool or behavior or word that will change that. Because if you try to stuff this down and just be calm and say the perfect words, it is like complete self-betrayal. This little girl in you is like, hello, are you hearing me? Like, I need my boundaries back. Like, can you please stop this? So she gets crushed every time. I can't remember, are you someone that is coming to the retreat? I can't remember.
No, I wasn't able to, but yeah.
I would highly recommend, if there's any way you possibly can, to look at that, because 3 days, and like Ash said, and that's why he put that comment there, he was the angry dad, the very bad temper dad that lost his shit. And since the retreat, since 3 days together, he has not lost it at all, one single time like that. Doesn't mean he hasn't got angry and raised his voice, but he's known how to go back and repair it straight away. And if you can't, and the reason I was going to give you something to do before the retreat. But if you can't come or whatever, no problem. I mean, it is what it is. But this is where the work really is for you. If you truly, truly want to actually genuinely find your calm in those moments, you have to sit with the little girl. You have to sit with her. Even if it's for 30 seconds, she just has to be acknowledged, truly. Like, this part of you can't be abandoned anymore. And in that moment, that you just bring awareness to the fact that how you're feeling is not your daughter. It is not. Now, that doesn't mean that she's not contributing 10% to the feeling, but this feeling's at 100%, and 90% is unhealed trauma stuck in your nervous system. And her little I won't get out of bed moment triggers a bucket that's already 90% full, and her last little 10% tips it all over.
Yeah.
Does this make sense? Because it's not the biggest deal in the world that she won't get out of bed. Now, let me help you in terms of like helping in the mornings to get her out of bed. Okay.
Yeah.
So kids, and there was someone else that asked a question about like the morning routine. So this is for you too. I can't remember who it is without reading back through it all, but this is for you. Okay. This is for everybody. Your kids need to start their day with love, not with barked orders, not with here's a list of shit for you to do until you get out the house. Like, they truly, like, do this, come on, shoes on, come on, up, Gab, have your breakfast, brush your teeth, get dressed, come on, we're running late, get your shoes on. Like that is like, and then we send them to school, and then we say, go and concentrate. Like, go and pay attention to all the next orders. All right, everyone, sit down, legs straight, legs crossed, hands in laps, back up straight, eyes on me. Fucking don't eat until I tell you it's lunchtime, and don't go to the toilet until I tell you you can, and raise your hand before you say a word. Like, every part of their lives like that. Yeah. And it's literally like we're sending them into, some war zone with a completely dysregulated nervous system. So the mornings, it's going to help you too. The mornings have to feel like love. If you want any of this to change, if you want tomorrow morning to be different, here's how you do it. You do not start, because also, and this is every parent, okay, not just you, Helena, but thank you for being the subject of this conversation. You're not really going in the morning, genuinely, authentically going, oh, good morning, darling. Oh, it's beautiful to see you. How did you sleep? It's time to wake up now. This is not genuine. Like, oh, beautiful, darling. How are you? How did you sleep? This is, I'm trying to be really nice and really kind so that you'll get the fuck out of bed and make my morning good so that I don't have to deal with being late. Like, this is like just manipulation. I'm trying to be kind so that you owe it to me to be nice back to me, and we can all have a good morning.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And beautiful. I know. So tomorrow you get up early. You put in some effort. You get up 20, 30 minutes early and go into her in the morning, get into bed with her.
Yeah.
Go and lay with her for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And say, good morning. And then when she like makes me say, no, you don't even have to wake up yet. You've still got 10 minutes to sleep. It's not even wake up time. I just wanted to come in and give you a cuddle.
Yeah.
And you know what? What could I do for you this morning that would help? I know that I normally bark a whole lot of orders and I tell you to do this and this and this. How about this morning? You give me 2 things that I'll do for you and you do the rest.
Okay, that's a good idea. I'll just write that down. 2 things I can do for you.
Give me 2 things. And maybe what might help is that you know, maybe tomorrow night or something after school, you make a list and maybe you do it with all the kids or something. I don't know. But if she's acts of service, she needs this desperately. But even if she's not acts of service, she needs
I think she's also very much physical touch because she's a bit starved for the touch a lot. And the thing that triggered her this morning was that she didn't get to have a cuddle, snuggle in the bed with me because I had to get up.
Right. Beautiful.
So,
Yeah, I really like this because my family culture is often like good mornings, hellos every time. And let's face it, even the
Yes,
dogs
and
give each other
Canadians,
butts because that's how they greet. And with often Anya, I go there, it's mornings and I get her up because hey, let's piggyback to the toilet. There's a
Beautiful.
touch there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really like this. It's great.
And maybe like something that can really help as well. Again, like I feel like I just want to give you everything, give everyone everything. So this is all in like 3rd pillar when you learn how to talk. And there's something called, you know, this language called check yourself and check this and check that. And basically it's how we tell our kids to do things without telling them what to do, because they don't like to be told what to do. And we'll get a better response if we influence their behaviors rather than demand their behaviors. And so what I would suggest is make a list as a family. Go, right, guys, let's make a list. We are not doing angry mornings anymore. I'm saying no. I take responsibility. It is my fault. I've caused the angry morning because I'm not up early enough. And then when I'm up, I'm rushing you. And it's really unfair to get you up and rush you. No child should have to be rushed in the mornings. I need to know what your brains need. And I haven't been giving you that. Okay. Your brain needs it slower and your brain needs connection. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make some changes. So can you guys all help me? Can we make a list together of all the things that need to get done in the morning before we can leave? Okay, what are the things that have to be done? We have to brush our hair, we have to brush our teeth, we have to have breakfast, we have to pack our bags, we have to get our clothes on, and we have to have our shoes. And do you know what? We don't even have to have our shoes on. Worst case, we can put them on in the car, but we at least have to have our shoes. Okay, so you can be like a bit lenient over there, right? Okay, if you haven't got your shoes on, no worries, pick them up, get in the car, put them on in the car. Like, it's fine. Okay, so then what you do is you have a list. And then 2 things to do is you say, you say to either each child or at least your eldest one that we're talking about here, hey, every morning I tell you what, you give me, you can choose 2 things or 1 thing on that list that I will do for you. Okay, and then you do the rest and you get to choose. Today, do you want me to pack your bag today? Or would you like me to, you know, like make your breakfast for you? And if I do this one, you do that one, or whatever it might be. Okay, so you can't become their slave. They've still got to do most of their responsibilities themselves, but they get to wake up and go, oh, could you do this part for me? Could you just do my hair today? I don't want to do my own hair. Whatever it might. Yep, sure. That'll be the thing I do for you. Okay. Now, the other thing is, if you have a visual list, then you don't have to say, come on, you haven't done this, you haven't done this. You're like, hey, check the list. Go and check the list, please, and just check to see what's still on the list that hasn't been done yet. In your mind, you're like, you still haven't fucking had breakfast. You still haven't done this, and you still haven't done that. But you're not telling them that. You're not reminding them how dumb and stupid they are, right? Which isn't what you say, but it's what they translate, as we know from the presentation, right? And so you're like, hey, listen, guys, we've got 15 minutes. Normally, the stage we're at would take about 25, because kids also don't understand minutes. It would normally take about 25 minutes, okay? We've got 15. I need your help. Guys, I need your, can we have a team meeting? I need your help. Guys, please, can you help me? I know it's my fault. I have not prepared things good enough this morning. I didn't get up early enough. Could you guys help me? We've got 15 minutes and I feel like there's still a whole bunch of things on the list that people need to do. Can everyone please go check their list? Let's go let's put a song on and let's see how many things we can get done on our list before the song finishes. And then you play like some Pink song or some Excellent song or something, and it feels good and everyone's trying to tick their list off, and you're not saying do it, do it, do it, do it. You're saying, hey, go and check the list. What's next on your list? What is on your list? So then they genuinely learn how to manage themselves.
Time management. Yep.
And it can be age appropriate, like younger one can have more on the list to do it, or because
yeah, you do it age appropriate. Yep, this is give them all their own list. They can have it on the back of their own bedroom doors or whatever you want to do. They can have their own list, and yeah, there's different responsibilities for different ages for sure. Yep. And once we know all their love languages, you might not do something for one child. You might be like, no, in the mornings, I don't do anything for you on your list because you're not acts of service. But what I do is I come into your bed 10 minutes early and we have a cuddle because you're touch. You don't need the act of service, but you do need the touch. But the other kid, I just go in, give them a kiss, they get up and there's no cuddles, but I will then do the first two things for them every single morning. Because that's their needs. That's their love language, and different people have different needs. That's why we don't do everything the same for every child.
Yeah.
Okay. Watch the videos though. The videos are going to be lifesavers for you as well. Okay, like all the language that you learn in the first pillar and the love language things. It'll for everyone watching, if you've done the first pillar, I can help you so much more. If no words, no sentence, no tool I can give you will ever make up for love. It'll never make up for love languages. Nothing will. But if you can start getting those things in place, all of you, if you can start like looking out for clues and you're starting to know your child better and you're using the effective praise language, there's a reason I put that in the first part of the program. It's super important. If that's already in place, I can help you so much more deeper.
Yeah.
Just a quick question, if I may. Previous topic, when the conflict is coming between parent and child and the spouse is seeing that cloud storm coming, what we can do? What is there, like what we can do actually?
Yeah.
That situation, what to do.
Have an agreement with each other. So have a talk now with Helena. Hey, babe, sometimes I see that cloud coming and I would love to help, but I don't want to violate you in this moment either. But of course, so would it be okay with you if I came and gave you a hug? Because I mean, Helena, your nervous system could do with being held and being squeezed, even if you're not a cuddly person. If you can give Tapio like permission to say, babe, you know what? I'll make a commitment as part of my growth that even though this anger in me wants me to push the world away and say, fucking don't touch me, get away from me or whatever. Do you know what? I know, because we talk about it consciously now, that you're actually trying to help me process. And this is something I need to learn how to do. I need to learn how to surrender. And even though I want to scream at the world, I need to take the love that nobody ever gave me. And Tapio, when you go and hug her, I would love for you to imagine that you're hugging 5-year-old Helena, not 35-year-old Helena. I want you to imagine you're holding your own little girl for a minute, like that's the part of her that is hurting in this moment. And so you guys have to have an agreement on what you're willing to let each other do. And then Helena, you're like, I agree up front. I'm not gonna, I have no right to be pissed off at you. Or maybe there's a key word. You're like, babe, I'm happy for you to try that. But if ever I say this word, just get away from me for a minute. It might be, Tapio, it might be, babe, if I come in, can I just like, can we just have a little signal and you tap out and I'll tap in. Just let me take over and you go sit in the bedroom for 5 minutes and you go sit with your little girl and you just remember, or it might be words. It might be, you could say to Helena, babe, remember this isn't about her. And that's code for, darling, this is your mum that you're feeling this towards, not your daughter. But you don't want to trigger the shit out of her even more in that moment. So Helena, you need to know yourself a little bit. Like, do you want the hug? You won't want anything, but are you open to the hug? Are you open to the act of service where he taps in and you tap out and you just get to go and regulate for a second? Would the words help you? I mean, you got to know yourself a little bit here and, take some kind of responsibility in saying, let's try this and let's see how I react to that, and being open And it's not meant to feel comfortable, because nothing's going to feel comfortable to you right now other than exploding.
Yeah,
Hey,
true.
that sounds good to me as well.
Yeah.
I wish I get
Well, I
that
know, because
treatment.
I know you're a bystander and you feel, you feel helpless and all you want to do is help. I understand, but without being condescending, without, all of
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I would be so honored if you guys could get to the retreat. It would be phenomenal. I think that I definitely really feel the need to say to you, Helena, I feel like you're just very, very ready for it. Like, for you to be able to have this is the first time we've talked in front of all these people, and you're very open. You can go there, you can own it. These are all the signs of somebody's soul being very ready to release. So maybe if there's any possibility for you to visit that option, I would definitely say to do that. Because in person for 3 days, it's a no-brainer. It's very easy to heal. If that's not an option, then you need to really sit with, remember, it's not your daughter. She's mirroring your mum. Everything you're feeling is what you felt as a child, and your pain doesn't belong to her.
True.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the shame factor in this is what's the biggest, I think, for me, because
It's the biggest for everyone, babe.
I don't want to like have her go up like the way I did, and then repeat the cycle on her kids.
And you wanting to change this, as you know, it's not enough. You having these intentions to wish that you didn't. You have to do. Nothing's going to do for you what nervous system work will do, whether it's now or later. Like, if ever you come to one of my retreats or you go to something else that does anything even half similar or whatever, nothing's going to do for you. Everything's just going to be a way to cope until you do that work. True. I'm not going to lie to you. I've worked with people here for 2 years before they've come to retreat, and the only thing they ever say is, I fucking wish I did that 2 years ago. Like, I just destroyed my own life for 2 extra years that I didn't need to, and my kids' lives, So it's nervous system work isn't something that can be talked through. It's not something, we do astral body work, and in the astral body work, the specific emotions we cover is anger, fear, guilt. It's like obviously these are all like the biggest ones everyone, struggles with. Anger, fear, guilt, grief, huge. Okay, grief for what you lost in your childhood, not just grief for someone who died, grief for the parts of yourself that haven't been part of you for a long time, grief for, the needs that never got met as a little girl that you can't ever go back and change now. Like, grief is in so many places, and shame. Okay, so they are the 5 specific emotions that we process with the astral body work. We do some ancestral work, which means you'll go back like into the womb of your mum. It's phenomenal. Even like, I've had men at this retreat that don't even believe in anything like this, and have, just, you can't even explain their experiences. They try to explain it later, and they're like, I don't know how to say it, but chances are that even in the womb, when you were inside your mum, that you took something from her that didn't belong to you. Your daughter potentially could have taken something from the womb with you, like energetically, that doesn't belong to her, it belonged to you. And we talk about it at the retreat in terms of like what happens at a soul level and why we do that and whatever. But potentially you're carrying something that doesn't belong to you, that never did belong to you. And that's why you can't process it, because it's not yours to process. And so sometimes in those situations, you have to energetically hand that back to the person it belongs to, but only at the point where you know what belongs to you and what doesn't and whatever. So it's some very deep work. It's the deepest work you could ever do. I've had one of Tony Robbins, one of the guys that has worked with him for 15 years, come to my retreat, and he said to me, Holly, why do you only do this in Adelaide? This should be on the world stage. Like, there's nothing like this in the world on that level. So it is phenomenal. It really is. So if that's an option, see how you go. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling. You're welcome.
Great tips.
Stay plugged in. Okay. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, let me see. Ali, I just saw you said older children too. Yeah, 12-year-olds. What I've said applies to everybody. You could do it with a 18-year-old. I kid you not. All of it. All right. Oh, that's beautiful, Ando May. That's very beautiful and very true. Okay. So I think Georgia had to leave, I think. So Georgia's not here, so that's fine. Sia, I think I saw you here. Are you here? Let me come to you. And there was you and hang on, there you are. Let me find you. Hi, darling. How are you? And wait, who was it? Oh, and Ange, actually. You and Ange both kind of asking the same thing about these, terrible twos or whatever you call it. You ready for a
Yeah,
conversation
you're
with me?
amazing, by the way. I just want to say that, like, the
Oh.
amount of knowledge that you've got, and yeah, it's just benefit from each topic, each question.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
so good to hear. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. I received that. Very, very grateful. Okay. So if you have a 2-year-old or somewhere like a toddlerish, let's say like an 18-month to 3.5-year-old, put it in the comments. Just say me, or something like that. I just wanted to see how relevant this is for how many people on the line. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go through it anyway, but I'd really love to know. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Oh, 16-month-old. Okay, cool. A sassy little 22. All right. So first of all, I think I said this in reply to your comment last week. There's no such thing as terrible twos. Let's all stop using this, putting the word terrible with anything, okay? Because words are real things. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So let's not breathe life into sentences that aren't helpful to anybody, okay? Because they become filters that we see things through. And you don't really get to make that conscious choice. But if you've programmed your subconscious that 2-year-olds are terrible, or there's something called the terrible twos, and you're like, oh, I'm just waiting for that. It's the same with teenage. Oh yeah, she's a teenager. Oh yeah, I've been waiting to fucking get to this stage. It's literally like we end up with a filter and we see them through that. Okay, so we don't really know what it is. So first of all, there's no such thing as terrible twos. There's only such thing as, at around the age of 2, what feels terrible for a parent sometimes is when the child is no longer so dependent on you that they're your puppet, and they now are trying to work out, they're realizing that they have a sense of self outside of you. And this is brilliant. This is what we want our kids to have. If they don't have a sense of self, they cannot navigate their own way through life. They become people pleasers. They need external validation. They search for happiness in all the places it'll never be found. And they end up with fucking anxiety and depression and all these things by, these days it's so sad. It's like 8-10 years old, right?
Yep.
So, and this is, and I want to say this, and this isn't just for you, Sia, but this is just for anyone else with 2-year-olds, because I've had lots of conversations here over the years, even with people who have come to me saying, like, I think I want to have another baby and I just don't know. I kind of do and I don't. And like, should I? And oftentimes when we've really kind of, gone down through the layers, what happens is, when our babies are babies, they meet our needs. Your need to be completely loved, to be acknowledged and noticed. Like, these are very normal human needs, by the way. There's no shame in these needs. They are needs for every single one of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we've got a baby, we get the attention because the baby's so cute and everyone wants our baby, and the baby meets our needs. And then what happens is, as this baby starts to build a sense of self and realize that they aren't you, they're their own person, they now no longer meet the needs of yours they used to meet. That's what feels terrible for an adult. And then we literally project the terribleness onto the 2-year-old like it's their fault, when actually it's our experience. Does this make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, love him, learn to thrive on loving him, like test his boundaries and work out who he is. And like, he's working out, how do I control the world around? How can I control you? How do I, like, that? He's supposed to. this is what we want to do. Like, this is what you want your child to do, right? To work out the world around them and how to interact with the world around them in a way that they can feel safe and they can feel loved and they can be a full expression of themselves without that ever meaning that their safety or their love is ever in question. Yeah. And so,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like, you know, oh, he's pressing my buttons, for example. Even when you're talking to a girlfriend, oh my God, he's fucking pushing my buttons lately. Instead of saying he's doing it, just say, oh my God, my buttons are being pushed lately. My buttons are being pushed, because it's not that he's pushing them, it's the fact that I've got buttons. Does that make sense? Even if you just language it like this all the time, it'll literally change the filter you see him through. So at this stage, like at this development of his, you know, in his brain and in his nervous system, you know, he's supposed to test boundaries. He needs to know how safe this builds his sense of security. If he pushes a boundary and he gets told no, even though you're sick of saying no and it's exhausting and you have to do all these things and deal with the meltdowns and whatever, the thing is, this is what makes him know he is safe in life, because a child should never ever be burdened with their own safety. Right. This is why I think you heard me say a couple of weeks ago when somebody asked about stranger danger, and I'm like, don't ever talk to your kids about stranger danger, like ever, until they're at least the age where it's relevant, like where you're leaving them out the front and coming to pick them up later or something like that. You know what I mean? Or they're walking out the front, like whatever. Anyway, we won't get into that conversation, but it's not helpful at all. And it's not a child's responsibility to ever know about strangers, for example. It's an adult's responsibility to know, but not to burden the child with that, because they can't keep themselves safe anyway. It's our role to do that. So whenever they push a boundary, and we firmly hold that boundary or remove them from the danger or just whatever it is, it literally reinforces how safe they are, because what their nervous system comes to know is, I don't even have to worry about keeping myself safe because my mum does that for me. I don't have to worry about whether or not something is going to risk my survival because my mum covers those bases for me. This is a child who then, when they know they are safe, they go and they develop beautifully, perfectly, all of that. Whereas a child who is burdened with their own safety, they have very interfered with like development. They end up being the child at 6 years old who's like anxious and very scared of everything, and everything might make them sick or might hurt them, or what if, and that is not healthy. That was taught to them. That is a learned behavior. Anxiety in children, in little children, anxiety under the age of 10 is a learned behavior. I'm yet to ever find a child with anxiety, unless there was some traumatic experience, you know, that was outside of everyone's hands, that didn't have a parent that was full of anxiety first. It's a learned behavior. So let him be a 2-year-old.
Okay.
Let him.
Okay, I'm just trying to piece it all together. So let him be a 2-year-old, but when it's unsafe, I put in my no. Or if he shouldn't be doing something, I put in my no.
He knows anytime. What's important for you?
Yeah. I just don't want to give him anxiety. If you could just clarify, what would I be doing to pass on my anxiety?
No,
what would that look like?
If you pass on your anxiety?
Yeah.
Like telling him constantly, be careful, be careful, be careful. No, you might fall. Put your jumper on. You might catch a cold. You know, like all of these little things. Or like, oh, don't wash your hands. Be careful you don't get sick. Or like, oh, come over here. Watch out, somebody might get you. Or, you know, like, don't talk to strangers, or all of this stuff. Like that is just like, whoa, how many things do I like have to think of and remember, and like all these things to keep myself safe, like, you know, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's videos on this inside the program. There's even videos in like why you should not overly say things like, oh, be careful you fall, and don't run, you fall over, and don't climb the tree, you might fall. And, you know, instead of saying that, you know, instead of saying, because most of it's not true anyway. They just grow up to not trust us. That's the number one way to make sure your kids don't trust you by the time they need to trust you. Because what happens is all their lives, for fucking 10 years, we're like, we say, oh, if you go outside without your jumper, you'll catch a cold. They went outside without a jumper. They didn't catch a cold. You said, oh, don't run, you'll fall over. They ran. They didn't fall over. You said, oh, be careful, climb in the tree. Be careful, you might fall. They climbed the tree. They didn't fucking fall. So what happens is every time this happens, their subconscious minds literally collects evidence saying, mum's full of shit. Mum's got no idea what she's talking about. Everything my mum says never happens. Never happens. And then what happens is now they're 13, 14, 15. And now you're saying, you know, don't have sex, you could get pregnant. Don't have unprotected sex, you could get fucking, you know, like get a disease. You know, don't get in a car with a teenager or someone that's been at the party with you. They might have been drinking. And by then, for 12 years, their brain has got 1,000 files that says everything you say doesn't happen. So I can have sex, I won't get pregnant. I can do this, I can fucking drink it, I can take this drug, nothing will happen to me. I won't end up in hospital. It's literally, we've wired their brain that way already for 12 years. We can't undo it in a year when they've had 12 years of programming like that.
Yeah, that was my childhood. And so, yeah, I feel sometimes I can be a little bit helicopter parent.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So if he was to have chalk on his hands, I would go wash his hands. Let the chalk be on his hands.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I tell you, so just say to him, oh, my hands are very dirty, brush them off. Or you say, what would you like to do? Would you like to just brush them off? Or would you like to go and wash them? Now, if he's got something on them that needs to be washed, but honestly, babe, it's fucking chalk. Like, it actually helps build his microbiome in his gut. So it's great for his immune system. It's great for his gut health. Like, let him be too.
And even after the park, when we go to the shopping center, I come home and I wash his hands. Don't even worry about that. Yeah.
Child,
gotcha.
How you want to do it, if you want to wash hands, but just don't say like, oh, come on, we might have germs. You be careful, you might get germs. And just don't do that. Just go, okay, we're home now. Let's wash our hands so our hands are nice and clean so that we can have our dinner soon or something, you know, like let's just make it all nice and clean so that we can go and play with our toys and, you know, things don't get dirty. Just don't make it about germs all the time. Like germs are good.
Yeah.
Okay? Little things like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Just let him be too. And delete the idea that it's terrible. And if ever it feels like fucking terrible because you're like, man, this is hard, then it's not, he's hard. What I want all of you to see with 2-year-olds or any year-old, but we're talking 2-year-olds right now, don't see them as hard. See you as not equipped to handle it.
Yep.
Okay. They're not being hard. They're being 2. Yeah. And if you're not sure how to handle that, you've got the place to get the answers. Take responsibility, come get the answers.
Yep. Perfect. No, thank you.
No worries, darling. Awesome. You're welcome. Okay. Georgia, I just saw that you're back here. You came. Let me see if I can find you. Hang on.
Yes, hello.
Hello, let me find you. Hang on. Hold on. I just got to go through this whole list of people. Let me mute you, CR. Sorry, darling. Hi, Georgia. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Amazing. Now, you said how to cope with behavior changes after returning from co-parent, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay. This is a really simple, short answer.
Good.
Let me just ask first, how long, like, what's your arrangement? How long do they go there? How long do they come back?
So they are now every second weekend, but it hasn't been like that for years as I am a domestic violence. We are survivors of domestic violence. Their father got out of prison last year. So it's been about 3 months worth of every second weekend, but it's supervised. Someone has to be there with them.
Okay, cool. It makes my answer even like stronger to what I was going to say, given those scenarios. Thank you for sharing, and sorry you had to go through all of that. What I say in any situation is that you are the child's safe place. And if you are the child's safe place, you will be the place where they let it all out. because they know that even if they showed up in all of the worst parts of themselves, all of their tantrums and anger and crying and just fighting with each other and whatever, they know they'll be loved with you. Okay. They don't get the separation from you. So it like expect that. Okay. It's a lot for them, especially like when they haven't really had much to do with their dad. Obviously you guys left in some, very scary situations. I don't care how young they were, their nervous systems knew that.
Yeah.
Nervous systems like could feel you. If essentially not only did they have to, like flee that situation with you, but at the same time, and please don't take this to heart,
Oh, no, I won't, no.
but they also would have felt emotional abandonment because when you were going through that, you were not emotionally available to them. I mean, you're trying to survive, you're trying to protect your children, you are just not available to them.
No.
And so, there's lots happening for them. And then now they're going back with their dad, but it's in a weird environment. It doesn't feel really like connection. They're kind of forced. There's like somebody there. That's a lot to unpack. That's a lot to have to offload. That's a lot for their little bodies to have to hold for however long they're there and whatever. And then they come back to you and it's like, oh, like I can just go back to, but imagine they're just like taking off all the layers that they've had to put in place to manage. So the best way to deal with kids coming back kind of unregulated or whatever from a co-parent is to expect it. And for you, while they are there, you take responsibility to do whatever's necessary for you on the day they're coming home, whatever, to be in your best place. So whatever you need so that you've got extra space available in you, do that. So you be ready and give it and expect a 72-hour, I always say, minimum 3 day for nervous systems to resettle. Okay. That's how you manage a co-parent situation where they're in very different environments and they come back different. If the parent is willing and open and just expecting it, because what'll set it off and make it worse is when you let's say you start dreading oh fucking hell, I hope they come home good today, or they come home and they go off again in the first hour and you're like, oh fucking hell, here we go, happens every fucking time. It's true, it's valid, but as soon as you feed it with stories like that, it makes your nervous system not be able to cope. And what their nervous systems need right now is access to your stability. But when you've got all these stories running about, oh God, here we go again, Jesus, God, I fucking hate this. Jesus, it's bloody exhausting. It's too hard. It's da-da-da-da, whatever, which is probably true, by the way. I'm not saying that wouldn't be. But does that make sense? Like when your nervous system your own stories, that they can't offload what they're trying to offload because they need access to your energy to regulate their own. But if they can't get access to that because your energy field is full of all these stories and whatever, then they just can't get their needs met, and it just gets worse, and they just start using each other to get their needs met, and then you get the sibling rivalry and all of that. So expect it. As soon as the brain expects even something like death, right? Death is hard to deal with, right? But it's so different to deal with when you're expecting someone to die than when you hear they suddenly died. Okay.
Yeah.
Even something as final and as enormous emotionally as death, that is processed much better and differently when it's expected. There's a whole different feedback loop in the brain. I won't explain it to you, but just trust me, there's a whole feedback loop in the brain. So expect it, and not just expect it, prepare for it. If you know they're going to come home and be dysregulated and they need a safe space and they need to let it all out, then you prepare yourself for that and welcome it. To let them go. When they come home, go, right, guys, let's put a song on for 10 minutes and everyone go crazy and and everyone scream and go louder. I can't even hear you. Let them scream, make it fun or something. That will help their nervous. Play wrestle games with them, do sensory things, squash them, make them crawl out from under you when you're trying to pin them on the ground for fun, tickle games, anything that helps them, on a physical sensory level, we'll also...
I feel that they're on guard when they're there. They're scared. Well, they're scared, and they're obviously not scared to, not these push my buttons, but they're not scared to be who they are with me. But I feel they have to let that guard down, and it's hard. Yeah, well, it's hard for me to watch, but Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
If you expect it and then you can plug into this group and you get your needs met and you feel heard and supported and all of those things, you'll have more space to be there. You know, maybe even the day that they're coming home, get yourself into a parenting mode. Even if you come into this group and go to the search bar and type in replay or type in, you know, even co-parent, like anything, and just watch a replay, just put videos in your head so that you're like inspired and almost looking forward to like using some of your parenting stuff, or you know, you've heard things that are just kind of top of mind, ready for you to be able to cope better yourself. Because I know, you know, you will be thrown out of whack as well. I totally get that, but expecting it yourself, and yeah, knowing that you are their safe person, that's the best way. And 3 days, okay?
3
Expect
days, yeah. Yeah, it does take about that long, yeah.
yeah, and
Does,
sometimes it
yeah.
take a bit longer, but minimum for at least by the 3rd day, if you've got space and you're like, it's okay. It's hard for me, but I can deal with it. Like when they're finally in bed, I'll process my shit. I'll have a cry. I'll do whatever I need to do. Like I'll go call a friend and offload or whatever. Like I'll take responsibility for me so that I can take it on for them. So that if there's, you know, especially if they've been scared for a whole bloody weekend, like that's big.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that makes totally. We do have a dance party lots of nights when we need to let that out.
You darling.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Holly.
Bye.
Bye.
And let me come to you. Are you still here? Let me.
Yeah, still here.
And what is your question tonight? I don't think I saw it. I thought your question was the same as Sia's.
No, I tacked on to Sia's question just because we have kids in the same
Yeah, you did.
sort of age space.
Wait, I'm trying to find. Did you put another question up in here today?
Not in the group chat here, but I did put it into the Facebook one under Sia's question.
Oh, let me go. Let me just see. Give me a sec. Yeah, that's what I mean. Under Sia's question. Wait, what is it? Hang on. I'm just scrolling through.
That's okay.
Around your 2-year-old that's your question about the 2, but you said, but it's specifically around the managing and hitting and slapping and stuff like that. Is that?
Yeah, and it's more so like I think it's been really great listening to some of the examples, I guess, tonight. I really feel Helena, I really feel you and I see you in that point of that, like that rage and that that feeling, I guess, around the unmet needs that I feel within myself, you know, not being seen, not being heard, not having those needs met as a little person, and how I project that onto my daughter inadvertently. And I get really like with the hitting and the reactivity and stuff, like sometimes like I find it, I get really, really dysregulated with it because I don't know how to, like, you go stop, you try and hold that boundary, but obviously like they don't realize, but they're hitting, and yet you've got all this, like, you know, hands and fists and toys and everything and fingers flying into your eyeballs and stuff. Like it's really hard to remain grounded in that space to then hold that boundary to go, how do we do that? You know, we don't do this, and how do I teach her that?
So I'll say 2 things, right? So first of all, whenever you're talking to your children in situations like this, like whether it's a teenager that's swearing at you or a 2-year-old that's hitting you, just for everyone out there, just never use language that is personal, because you will activate their reptilian brain. And what I mean is, it's like, you know, don't you dare hit me, right? Like, not like, don't you hit me. Don't you talk to me like that. Leave out the you. So what you say is, nobody hits me. Nobody speaks to me like that, right? So it's not a you thing. No, I do not allow anybody to hit me like that. Nobody touches my body like that. I am the boss of my body. You are the boss of your body. You know, and so using the whole, like, I'm the boss of my body, for example, that's really good, because like over time, that'll be programmed into it. Well, I'm the boss of my body, but you're going to have to be the parent that's okay with them being the boss of their body, which is a great thing. But then you can't say eat everything on your plate. no, my body's telling me I'm full. Well, and so we can't pick and choose when we want to say your body, your choice, right? If that's one of your principles. Now,
No.
so first of all, don't make it personal. Nobody hits me like that, right? Or no, we do not hit in our family. Hitting is not okay in our family. It will
I've
not.
been trying to say things like, I don't like being hit, or we don't hit, or I've been trying to leave out the don't you hit, or
Yeah, okay. So
anything that's you directed. I try and sort of keep it as in, I don't like being hit, and or we don't hit, or I try and redirect for soft hands as well. So
yeah,
I don't like to be hit, soft hands, please, or something, but
Yeah.
it's still
there's a video. In the second thing I wanted to tell you is in the second pillar, and it might be worth you while jumping forwards and getting it and then going back. In the second pillar under discipline, there's a video called 4 Steps to Stop the Whinging is what I called it, but it's to stop anything. It's to stop hitting, it's to stop swearing, it's to stop, it doesn't, whatever it is, doesn't matter, okay? But I think I called it 4 Steps to Stop the Whinging. Those 4 steps are exactly what you need to use, and especially with a 2-year-old, okay? Naming it and not just saying stop, but giving, the green light afterwards. But so meaning like, so go and watch the 4 steps just so I don't have to take up more time here. But it's basically you name it, like, like that's hitting. And then you say there how it's not right. Hitting is not okay in our family, or whatever you want to say, right? But what is okay is, to use your words and not your hands or whatever, right? Every time. But you have to name it, and it has to be given the same name every time. Now, the thing is, what gets them hitting you in the first place is a feeling ultimately that if I don't hit you, I won't be taken seriously. I'm not taken seriously unless I'm hitting, right? And so there's a need before that in a bigger picture. But that's going to be directly related to love language and power bucket, massively on power bucket. So whereabouts are you up to in the program? Have you started watching the videos?
I've watched some, but I've only skim watched them just to sort of get a feel for them. But I think we will use the next couple of weeks to really sort of start to unpack them.
Right. Yeah, honestly, I can't say that enough to all of you here. Like, I know the Zoom calls are great. You can just rock up and have conversations, and we have very deep conversations. But like, if you're not watching the videos, you're going to be limited, because the problems that you're likely to come with are going to need some foundations for me to fix it real quick for you. And those foundations are in the first pillar of the program. So not just you, Ange, but everybody. So please, if you're on here, remember what you've paid for is not just the Zoom calls. You've paid for the program, the 100-page workbook that goes with it, print it out, have it with you. Those videos are going to be phenomenal. The people who get the fastest results, and then they come here and, I give them a little tip on this. If there's already love languages in place and certain, certain languages that you're using in place, and then I come along and go, oh, say this, or oh, do that. It's an instant thing. But if there's empty love buckets and empty power buckets, no work I'll give you will work more than 2 or 3 times anyway. It's never going to be a long-term thing. So 4 steps to stop the whinging, in terms of, especially if it's happening all the time, so that you've got something to say when it happens tomorrow, for example. That process there is what you want to do. But it's in the discipline section, which means it works best after love languages and all those other things, like the praise video. So it'll work 70% maybe until you get everything else in place. But start it now so that you're very consistent with that language, so that by the time you start implementing all the love language stuff and the praise stuff, it's like you're right there. Okay? It will literally just sink straight in. Okay? It's super powerful. But there's 4 steps, and you've got to hit 4 steps every time you talk to her, especially because under four every time, same thing every time.
Yeah. Because I end up feeling like I'm not either sometimes with her, because she is spirited and she is very, how do I put it? She's definitely her own little person. She has her own vibe, and she's very strong-willed and things. And sometimes I feel, even with boundaries, and I do understand that 2-year-olds, it is age appropriate to be pushing those boundaries. It's my triggers where I end up saying, can you please not do that? No, don't do that. Don't do that. And then I end up yelling to get that effect because I get to that point where that trigger is so high where I don't know how to do it any other way. And then I feel like shit for doing it because I then feel, that I am perpetuating the same things that, that my parents did, which was, domination through control, and always through like either nitpicking or controlling or everything, where I was not ever seen or not heard and my feelings didn't matter. And I'm really aware of that. And I'm terrified at the end of the day of putting that onto her as well, because I don't know how to deal with it. And sorry, I even get emotional now, but I've never been able to move past it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Thank you, Ange. Don't be sorry ever, please. Like this is where the magic happens, when you're willing to really lean into those edges and be open. And shame can only exist in secrecy and silence. So as soon as you break the silence on something and you share it, you already eliminate a lot of the shame. And so yeah, definitely I see it, and I see how intentional you're trying to be and all of that. I really do. But everything with kids is not just what we do to them, it's an energetic like they hear what we say vibrationally more than they'll ever hear us verbally. And so I want you to be able to, what comes out of your mouth, like the words that you're really good at remembering to say or do, needs to match what they feel from you. Otherwise it's like energetic gaslighting. It's like they're like, oh like, you're talking like you're calm, but you don't feel like you're calm at all. And so what happens is, because they see us as their heroes and like we're verbally being calm, it teaches them not to trust themselves. It turns them off their intuition, because what I feel is that you're about to burst, but what I hear is that you're being all nice and calm and using these nice little parenting words. And so when those two things don't match and they've got an energetic conflict going on, what they're hearing isn't matching. Even that, and that's why when you do the work on yourself, like when you heal those wounds, and again, like this is why the results are just next level after my retreat, because when you have genuinely met and released what you hold in your energy body, it's just not available to the kids, if that makes it. It's just not there. So yeah, maybe, I mean, I don't know. Where do you live, Edge?
Central Vic.
What's Central Vic? Is that near Melbourne?
So I'm about half an hour out of Ballarat, half an hour, 40 minutes, and probably about an hour out of Melbourne.
Have you got a ticket to come to my tour event when I'm in Melbourne?
I do.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
To meet you in person. That will help you phenomenally. Like it really, really will. And it's just 2.5 hours jam-packed, and I'll also love to meet you in person. So yeah, and I'll give yourself some grace. You're bloody doing good. You really are. So be kind to yourself in all of this. Watch the videos, and yeah, maybe I think you should go watch the 4 steps to stop the whinging, and then go back, start the program, like, go back and watch in order, but just go watch that so it's already in your head, so that while you're watching all the other stuff, you already got something you can say, because it's happening so often.
Yeah, I will do.
Awesome. All right.
Thanks, Holly.
No worries, darling. Thank you too. Ash, I'm going to make you the last person tonight. I'm going to do one more question for a young boy that is very much struggling at school by the sounds. And I know exactly what I want to say to you. So your eldest son is, feeling really lost and alone, and the teachers are saying he's becoming very withdrawn and distant lately, nearly a bit depressed. And you guys just want to know, I mean, you guys are doing brilliant in your conscious parenting, and you really want to just know how do you help him through this? Yeah. I totally get it. Listen, I tell you exactly what to say to him. And I have had this conversation so many times with Miami. Miami has been in situations her whole freaking life. Every best friend she makes bloody leaves the school, or the parents move interstate or something. There's always a reason why it's like her friends have gotten taken away from her type thing. It's like there's just, and it's grief. It's true loss, right? And especially when, you live in such a small country town like you guys, and it's not like there's 100 friends to go choose from. You know, the school's, I don't know what, probably got 50 kids in it or something. I don't know, but I know it's probably small. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he hasn't got many kids in his class, and all the ones that he's sort of connected with intellectually have sort of left. And yeah, we had a good chat to him tonight about he just doesn't feel like he's got anyone there, and he's just the kids he just feels picked on and bullied, and all those little things are getting to him, and we just want to be able to help him through. And like you said, on Sunday, make sure what we're saying is translating to him the way we want it to. It's just
I love the question. So I'm going to give you the conversations I've had with Miami. And like, I want you to really mean this when you say this to him. If it's even easier, you know, you can even play him this video if that's easier. But this is what happens with kids like this. Like, this is where you really start teaching him about purpose in life. And it's like, hey, listen, I'm not going to lie to you, mate. Like, I see how hard this is for you. But just so you know, this won't be the only time in life that this happens. This will not be the only time in life where you might feel alone. Even as an adult, we can feel very alone. There's lots of times where we don't feel like we have friends. So, like, be real. Like, I just want you to know, this is not something that just happens in grade 5 or just happens at school. This is life. Sometimes in life, we have to be alone. Now, here's the thing. There's a reason for all of this. And this is what I would say to him. Let me just say it as though he's my kid. Okay. I would literally say to him, listen, mate, there's something that I know about you. You're not like a normal kid. You've got some very special gifts that a lot of other kids don't have. Okay. That's true for every kid. Right? Now, I think you have a lot of leadership in you. And one day in life, you'll be called to whatever your purpose is. The whole reason you were born, one day you'll know why. And I can almost guarantee you that you'll be called to be a leader for a lot of people. But the only time you can lead someone is when you've already been through what they're going through. No one can lead where they haven't been before. And so what happens is with people like you or people that really change the world, and you can tell him, like, you know, Steve Jobs or like Richard Branson, or you can like literally like sit on the computer and look up some people and look into their stories and see, you know, these people that changed the world, they also sometimes they had less friends at school. They were a bit different because they had gifts in them that other children didn't have. And here's the thing. In order for you to become the leader that you're going to need to be one day, the role of life is to prepare you for that, is to give you experiences. And sadly, and I hate the fact that, you know, as your mum, it means that we have to have pain. Like, pain is what helps us grow eventually. And while we're in it, it feels terrible. But the thing is, one day you might be in a position where you are meant to be the person that can lead someone or can help someone. Maybe there'll be another person that doesn't have a friend, or another person, you know, that thinks that nobody likes them. And because you've been through it, you're going to have the ability to help that person like no one else can, because you've been through it. So here's the thing with life. Life is not meant to make us happy. That is not the point of life. It is not, life is never trying to make us happy. What life does is life always gives us balance. Always. It never wants us completely happy because there's no growth there. Okay. We need to grow. So we need pain to grow, and we need happiness, and we need joy, and we need connection so that we can thrive and so that we can enjoy life. The role of life is to give us balance. It is not to give us happiness. And so right now you're going through one of the times, like a pendulum. It swings this way, and then it swings that way, and then it swings to happiness, and then it swings to some growth. And talk to him. You know, Dad's been through this recently. I've been going through this. You know, and back in April, my pendulum was all the way over in what I thought was sadness and what I thought was, you know, depression and anxiety and anger. And I don't know if you remember, but I used to yell at you guys a lot. I used to really use a loud voice. And, you know, that, and I was feeling like things weren't as happy. And and now the pendulum's swinging this way, and I feel so much better about myself, and I feel like I know how to do things I couldn't do before, and I know I'm a better person, and I feel like I'm becoming a better dad, and I feel like me and mum are better with each other, and all of these things. And you know what? I know at some point life's going to give me another challenge, and that challenge is going to help me grow. And then when I grow, that's going to allow me to experience a happiness I couldn't have before. And then at some point, it's going to give me, this is what life is, mate. And I'm sharing it with you because you're 9 now, and you aren't just a normal everyday kid. You do have a special gift, and life is going to probably give you some lessons it doesn't give to other people, because other people don't have the purpose you're going to have. They're not called to be the leader that you're going to be called to be. And I know it's hard while you're going through it, but every pain has purpose in it. And sometimes you can't see what the purpose is. And the reason life doesn't want us to be able to see it is because the whole point is that we have to learn how to trust. We have to learn how to just know that life or God or the universe always knows what they're doing. And so you're in one of those moments where the pendulum's over here, but don't worry, every person gets balance. Life is always giving us balance. And for everything that you can see right now that is really hard in your life, there will always be balance somewhere in your life if you're willing to see it. There's also things about your life that are the best thing in the world. They're so amazing. And you've got to learn how to see that for yourself. Like, it's no such thing as life is always bad. There might be challenges in the day, but the whole day wasn't bad. And these lessons are how you become this person. That's why we get given these situations, so that we can learn to see things we couldn't see before. Like teaching this, I taught this to my kids their whole lives.
Yeah.
They understand.
Are we better off leaving him in that school and changing for the purpose of just needing high school rather than pulling him out because all this is happening? Like, teach him resilience.
Yes, yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, for a lot of reasons, like, because there'll be other challenges. If he goes to another school, then there'll be challenges of being
Brought that up.
every day for half each way or whatever. Another thing you can tell him if he's being bullied, is anytime, and this goes even with the siblings calling each other names. This goes anywhere. When a kid's like, oh, he called me this, or they're calling me that. One of the things I teach, and it's in the program, is you're a car. Have you heard me say this before? You're a car. Okay. Yeah. So let's say he comes home and he goes, oh, the kids at school are calling me dumb or stupid, or I don't know, whatever happens these days, whatever they call each other, right? And then what you do is you go, oh my God, Dawson, you're a car. And he'll literally be like, what do you mean? Actually, you just changed into a car. Like, your whole face is just like a steering wheel. Like, your nose is like a horn. I reckon if I touch it, anyway, he'll be like, what? Were you being stupid, Mum? Are you being stupid? And he's like, no, you're a car. Like, you actually just changed into a car. Go look in the mirror. You're actually a car. And he'll be like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then what you say is, so if you don't believe you're a car, no matter how much I tell you you're a car, if you don't believe you're a car, why do you believe you're stupid? Because it's never, ever what someone says to us that hurts our feelings. It's what we believe about what they say to us that hurts our feelings.
Yeah.
Okay? Every time. Yeah? Does this make sense for all of you? It's what we believe. I'll give you one example. I'll give you an adult example. This is a controversial example, okay? One of my closest friends, she's like, well, when I say controversial, some people just don't like this language, but I'm going to be as real as I am. So she had all these troubles anyway, and I was kind of giving her the same principle one day. And she is, all her life, she's been like tiny, like size 6, like literally smaller than my daughter, my 14-year-old Miami. She's a tiny girl, right? Anyway, and I said to her this day, because she was getting bullied at work. And I said to her, Kate, you're fat. You fucking on the border of obesity, man. Like, if you don't start watching what you eat, you're going to get like diabetes. Like, please, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm trying to be your best friend. Like, I don't want you getting diabetes and fucking dying of obesity. Like, you got to start watching what you eat. She was like, what the fuck, Holly? I'm like, no, seriously, Kate, you're fucking overweight. And she was like, you're a fucking idiot. And I said to her, now watch this. No matter, even if I tried to hurt your feelings, telling you you're some fat pig, because you know you're not fat. I could not hurt your feelings calling you fat if I tried.
Mm.
But if I called the next person who just slightly thinks that they're overweight, if I said anything to them, it would fucking crush them. Why
Yeah.
can't I crush you calling you fat? Because you don't believe you are. You think I'm the dickhead for thinking you're overweight. I'm the idiot. I can't hurt your feelings with that if I try.
Yeah.
But that would hurt anyone else's feelings.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teach him this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the things that get said to us highlight sometimes what we believe about ourselves.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, there's a book. Get this book. Get this book. Fuck, I've had this since I was a kid. I've made all my kids read it. He's the perfect age for it. Write this down. I'll put it. Oh my God, it's so old. Look, it's got all drawings in it. Get him to read this book. And I know Dawson loves books anyway. Guys,
Yeah.
read this with your kids. Like every person on this call, get this book. It's so old. My dad, it's called The Dolphin, Story of a Dreamer. I believe it's not even in print anymore. When I wanted to buy this copy, because I lost my original copy, I had to get it off eBay and it was already used. It was like someone else's. So I don't know where you'll get it from. It's called The Story of a Dreamer by Sergio. I'll put it up here like this.
Cool.
This will like be his lifeline, okay? It's a story of a dolphin who wants to go over the reef and chase a wave, basically. And to do that, he has to have the courage to leave the pod. But the pod are like, you should never go over the reef. That's where you die out there, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the dolphin ends up deciding to go his own way in life. And the sea opens up and talks to him all the time. The sea is like God or like the universe to him, speaking to him in certain moments when he's got to find his own way in life. It's so easy for them to read. I got my kids reading this as soon as they were in grade 3. And there's like all these little quotes in it, you know. There comes a time in life when there's nothing else to do but to go your own way, a time to follow your dreams, a time to raise the sails of your own beliefs. Anyway, but it's done in story form. It's so amazing. And I've advocated this book ever since I've been doing this work. Get that book for him.
Yeah.
Right now.
Someone just posted it. Sounds like Moana, the movie, like
Along
the
those
kids movie.
lines, yeah, along those lines, exactly. That's
Yeah.
sound like Moana, doesn't it? Going over the book, that's true.
Mm.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Get that book. Like, I know he loves reading. It'll infiltrate his mind where he's got to learn I'm different to other people. And, you know, when you can raise your children loving that they're different. I've told my kids their
Yeah.
whole lives, they are like, you know, it's like you can vaccinate them against low self-esteem. Tell them, oh no, our family is so different to most families. You are never going to be like a normal person. Just so you know, you are not normal. You're like way above normal. You know, you're not the average person. Like average things aren't going to happen to you. Like if this is the seeds they get planted in their minds all of their lives, they become when something happens, like, yeah, babe, you're going to go through pain other people don't go through, because you've got a purpose in your life that other people don't have. And that's how you qualify for your purpose. That's how life prepares you for what you're meant to do with your life. All the things you go through in your life prepare you for what you're meant to do with your life. And you won't know that until later, but everything that's happening and so if they hear this like all the time for years, like that's how my kids are so, you know, got great self-esteem and so resilient. And so, you know, Marnie got bullied in year 10 and, you know, it definitely hurt her. Don't get me wrong. Like she got massively bullied because we didn't vaccinate, you know, in the COVID and all that. And she didn't wear a mask and whatever. And so, anyway, but, you know, still 2 years later, she was the head prefect of the school and everyone, you know, like just the resilience was incredible. And as like, it literally didn't matter how much they tried to destroy her. Her foundation was knowing who she was. So she did fall off, like she got rocky for a while, but they always returned to their foundations. And those were like, you know, I've just been through so, and now look at Amani thriving, mentoring other girls. Like literally she's healed some girls, you know, fucking eating disorders that have had eating disorders that psychologists couldn't fix. They worked with her for 6 weeks and for the last 12 months still haven't had a recurrence of their eating disorder. Like her ability to be able to teach these young girls that she mentors now what to do with their friendship issues and what to do with their situations is all because of what she went through with her own bullying, or when she's helping kids go through the facts that their parents are separating. Guess where her ability to help that comes from. Her own navigate, like internal guidance system from
Yeah.
knowing what it feels like when your parents separate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could even be something, you know, I know Jack worked amazingly with Amani and loved her, and Danny had great results. So if Dawson's open to having a mentor in his life, even if it's just for 6 weeks, you know, I think it's like $30 a session or something that she charges or whatever. Connect with her, Ash, or I can connect with you, or you can reach out to her or whatever. But if he's open to having someone that's, you know, while he's going through these challenges at school, like, you know, maybe it might be worth looking at seeing if he would be interested in chatting to Amani to see if they connect and going from that. You know, she definitely works with boys too.
We sort of said to him tonight that, you know, we can look at other schools, but we might not be able to get in for a while. So in the meantime,
Or afford it.
yeah, can you work with us? Like I said, we were going to talk to you tonight.
Yep.
There might be things that we can try and learn that, you know, because if we go to another school, the same thing might happen, and we need to be able to learn some things. So
That's right.
sort of he's open to working with us to try and learn some things. So
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a brilliant kid. Teach him he's different. Teach him he's a leader. You know, different things are going to happen in his life because he's meant for different things. And then when different things happen, he'll feel empowered. He'll be like, of course I've got no friends because you guys are all different to me. And it'll just give him this little you know, just give him this little, and sometimes he might go a bit cocky. He's 9. Like there'll be times where he might be like, and don't worry, life will bring him down a peg when he needs it. You know, like life will do what life does, and
Yeah.
the lessons he needs on humility as well. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, absolutely. No worries. All right, beautiful people. That is it for our call tonight. So just, oh, sorry, I accidentally turned your video off, Ash. I didn't mean to do that. Just the last reminder, there'll be no call next week. We're moving house. We won't have internet. I'm not going to stuff you around and we get on and it's all slow and all that. So anything will be connected definitely next week, and then I'll be able to be 100% with you. So, and for anyone who, you know, has only just joined, you pay for 45 calls a year. So in this program, you got lifetime access, but there's 45 calls a year. So, you know, a couple of times a year, I definitely have a life outside of being on Zoom calls. So I will see you back in 2 weeks. Have an awesome 2 weeks. Use the time to please watch the videos, okay? We can have epic conversations and get massive results if these Zoom calls happen on top of the videos, even if it's 1 video a day, 5 minutes a day, all right? Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all of the questions. Thank you for holding the space if you were out there. If I didn't get to your question tonight, bring it back next time. And if you need an answer in the meantime, please copy and paste it from where you put it in the comments and go and put it in the Facebook group, because the whole community will give you answers there, including me. I'll keep my eye on things a little bit over this week as I... Thank you, Ash. I'm looking forward to my new house. Awesome, guys. I appreciate you all so much, and thank you for understanding what it's like for me at this end over the next week with moving house in between bloody touring and coming from Perth and going to Melbourne. So awesome to spend the night with you, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Good night.